video, I'm going to review the answers and how to get to the answers for the retake work for the Unit 2 fraction decimal percent summative. So if we look at the first problem wanted you to convert a fraction into a decimal, and to take a fraction and turn it into a decimal, I need to do long division. And to do that, I'm going to put top dog in the house, so 5 goes inside and 8 goes outside. 8 can't go into 5, so it becomes a 0 and a decimal point and a 0 behind. Now my question is, how many times does 8 go into 50? 8 goes into 56 times, which would be 48. I subtract. 50 minus 48 would be 2. 8 can't go into 2, so I have to bring down another 0. 8 can go into 20 2 times, which is 16. 20 minus 16 would be 4. 8 can't go into 4, so I have to bring down one more 0. So 8 goes into 40 5 times, and that would be perfect, and I would be finished. So the answer for this one should have been 0.625 for your final answer. For the next one, it wanted you to take that same fraction and yours said percentage here. So I'm going to take the fraction and turn it into a percent. So the first step would be to take the fraction and turn it into a decimal, and it said use your answer from the previous question. So you got 0.625. And I need to turn that into a percent. Like I said, yours says percent. I forgot to correct mine. So when I turn numbers into percentages, I need to move the decimal place 2 towards where that percent sign goes. And remember, if you use the flow chart, I had the double bumps under there to get from decimal to percent. So I have to go in between the spaces and those little cracks. So there's my new decimal point. So for the percent for this one, it should have been 62.5%. All right, looking at number 3. Number 3 said convert the percent into a decimal. And to convert a percent into a decimal, I'm going to write the percent a little bit larger. There is no decimal point written in this number, so that means it's hiding with the percentage. And when I don't want to be a percent anymore, I'm going to move 2 away from where that percent sign, or the decimal point is, where the percent sign is in the back. So I'm going to go away from the percent sign 2 spaces. 1, 2. So that lands me there, and my new decimal is going to be 0.50, or you could write it as 0.5. Either of them would be correct. For number 4, it wanted you to take that same percentage and turn it into a fraction. And it said, hint, use your answer from the previous question. Now, our answer from the previous question was 0.50 or 0.5. But we also know that any percent is out of 100. So I know this is going to be 50 out of 100 because it is a percentage. And I can divide this one by 10. And I land at 5 over 10. Which is the same thing as what you would have gotten for this one. This would have been 5/10 also. But I can still simplify this down again. I can divide it by 5. And I get 1/2 as my final answer for that one. So you need to make sure you got down to 1/2. Don't be scared to simplify. For number 5, it said a builder used 1.37 tons of concrete to build a house. What fraction of a ton describes this amount of concrete? So for this one, I need to pull out that whole number, which is the 1, and then I'm going to have the fraction because the 1 is the whole number in the decimal. It'll be the whole number in the fraction. Then I look at place value. 37 is the numerator, and then 37 what? Well, it's 37, and I can use those little teeny tiny numbers. 1 goes under the 1's place, 0, 0, because it's 2 places behind. So it's actually 37 hundredths. And it does not simplify. So the answer is just 1 and 37 hundredths. For number 6, a store is having a sale in which everything is 60% off the original price. What is this fraction? What fraction is this equivalent to? I apologize. What fraction is that equivalent to? Well, I know a percent is always out of 100. So it's going to be 60 out of 100. And then I can simplify that by 10. Because they end in 0, and I'm left with 6/10, but they're both still even, so I can divide by 2 again, and I'm left with 3/5. Remember, you may use a multiplication chart for this. You don't need to try to do it all in your head. Another way that you could have done this is you could have taken 60% found the decimal point, move it 2 away from that percentage, so then you get 0.6, which is the same as that 6/10. And then you would have had to simplify by 2. So there's 2 methods for that one. Number 7, it was a comparing one, compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. So remember, when you compare, you're always going to turn into percentages. So for this one, 22%, the first one is already, but the repeating one, my recommendation is to always write a bunch of 2's behind so that remember it's repeating. And then I have to move 2 towards where the percent sign goes. So 1, 2. So I end up with 22, but don't forget it's repeating, 0.2 repeating percent. So because this one has that extra 0.2 that 22% does not, my sign should have gone that way. And then for the last one, I need to compare those two. Remember, I have to turn them into percentages. So 70% can stay. For 0.7, I need to move 2 towards where my percent sign goes. So I'm going to go 1, 2. 0 gets filled in, so this becomes 70%. So these numbers end up being equal to each other. If you have any questions after you watch this video, please let me know, and you can email me or wait until I look at your work to get the password to do the retake.